If you're enjoying this story, subscribe to Satoshi's Lullaby. New episodes every day. Now, let's continue. Close your eyes. It's 1982. A cryptographer named David Chaum publishes a paper that nobody outside academia notices. It describes a system for sending money digitally, anonymously, without any bank in the middle. He calls the concept blind signatures. It is, in retrospect, the first blueprint for digital cash. 15 years later, Chaum founds DigiCash, builds the technology into a real product, gets partnerships with major banks, and then, through a series of decisions that still baffles the people who were there, drives the company straight into bankruptcy. Another 15 years pass. Satoshi Nakamoto publishes the Bitcoin white paper. Academics immediately notice it builds on Chaum's foundational work. David Chaum invented digital money before the internet existed, and almost no one knows his name. When we think of the digital age, we often think of speed, convenience, and interconnectedness. But woven into that fabric is a persistent tension, the delicate balance between accessibility and security, between innovation and privacy. Today, our story delves into the life and work of a man who stood at the helm of this digital crossroads, David Chaum. Born in the early 1950s, David Chaum emerged as a pivotal figure in the domain of cryptography and digital privacy. He was a visionary who foresaw the challenges of the information age long before they became evident to society at large. From his early days in academia, Chaum was captivated by the possibilities and pitfalls of digital communication. His mind, sharp and far-seeing, gravitated towards cryptography, a field that promised solutions to some of these looming challenges. In the 1980s, a decade marked by rapid technological advancements and the birth of the internet, Chaum embarked on a journey to change the landscape of digital security. His groundbreaking work laid the foundation for what would become key protocols in cryptographic practices. Through his innovative concepts like blind signatures, Chaum introduced methods to preserve anonymity and protect individual privacy. These contributions were more than technical achievements. They were philosophical statements about the right to privacy in an increasingly interconnected world. As we navigate his journey, we will explore not only the technical brilliance of his innovations, but also the moments of introspection and transformation that defined his career. Chaum's work wasn't just about algorithms and code. It was about envisioning a world where individuals could navigate digital spaces without sacrificing their privacy. His vision was both profound and, at times, contentious. His career wasn't without its challenges. The digital frontier in which he operated was an uncharted territory, fraught with uncertainty and resistance. Chaum faced numerous obstacles, both professional and personal, that tested his resolve and shaped his path. At certain junctures, his influence seemed to wane, and he found himself wrestling with the tides of technological change and public perception. Yet, through these trials, Chaum's commitment to his ideals remained unwavering. In examining David Chaum's life, we also uncover the broader narrative of how cryptography evolved from an obscure academic pursuit into a cornerstone of modern privacy and security practices. His contributions have left a lasting imprint on technology, and his story resonates with anyone who values the principle of privacy in an age of digital exposure. As we explore the chapters of Chaum's life, we'll consider the nuances of his legacy. How is his work perceived by peers and historians? What controversies or debates have surrounded his efforts? These questions guide our investigation, inviting us to reflect on the impact of one man's vision on the digital world we inhabit today. In a time when data breaches and privacy invasions seem inevitable, David Chaum's story reminds us that the quest for digital privacy is not just a technical challenge, but a deeply human one. It's a story of persistence, of vision, and of the enduring impact one individual can have on the trajectory of technology. So as we prepare to step into Chapter 1, Keep your eyes closed just a moment longer. Picture a future where your digital life is truly yours, shielded from unwelcome eyes. Now open them, ready to journey into the world of David Chaum. So as we prepare to step into Chapter 1, keep your eyes closed just a moment longer. Picture a future where your digital life is truly yours, shielded from unwelcome eyes. Now open them, ready to journey into the world of David Chaum. Born in 1955 in Los Angeles, California, David Chaum's early years were set against a backdrop of rapid technological change. The city, known for its vibrant cultural and scientific landscape, was fertile ground for a curious mind. Chaum's parents encouraged a passion for discovery, fostering his budding interest in mathematics and science. Little did the world know, this young boy would one day stand at the vanguard of digital privacy. Chaum's academic journey began in the hallowed halls of the University of California, Berkeley. In the 1970s, a time when personal computers were a novelty and the internet was just beginning to emerge from its infancy, Chaum's fascination with cryptography took root. Berkeley, with its storied tradition of fostering innovation, was the perfect incubator for his burgeoning ideas. In 1982, he earned his doctorate in computer science from Berkeley, his dissertation marking the first steps on a path that would redefine digital privacy. His thesis, Computer Systems Established, Maintained, and Trusted by Mutually Suspicious Groups, explored foundational concepts that would later influence his pioneering work on cryptographic protocols. Chaum's early work delved into the ways cryptography could protect personal privacy. He envisioned a digital world where individuals could interact anonymously, free from the prying eyes of corporations and governments. At a time when few could foresee the implications of digital surveillance, Chaum's ideas were both revolutionary and prescient. By 1985, he had introduced the concept of digital pseudonyms, allowing users to engage in transactions without revealing their true identities. This was a groundbreaking idea, one that would become increasingly relevant as the digital age progressed. Chaum's vision was not merely technical, it was deeply philosophical, rooted in a belief in the fundamental right to privacy. His work attracted attention from both academia and industry. In 1989, he founded DigiCash, a company dedicated to creating secure electronic money using his cryptographic ideas. DigiCash aimed to provide a means for secure, anonymous transactions, a precursor to the digital currencies we know today. Chaum's foresight in anticipating the need for such technology underscores his role as a pioneer in the field. Amidst the bustling technological landscape of the late 20th century, Chaum's contributions were both timely and transformative. The 1980s were a period of significant advancement in computing technology. Companies like Apple and Microsoft were paving the way for personal computing, while researchers were exploring the nascent domain of networked communications. It was in this environment that Chaum's ideas gained traction. Chaum's theories were underpinned by a simple yet profound principle: trust. His innovations, especially his development of the blind signature protocol, were designed to ensure that digital transactions could be conducted with trustworthiness and security. Blind signatures allowed for the authentication of messages while preserving the anonymity of the sender, a technique that would become foundational for secure communications. As Chaum's work gained recognition, so too did the understanding of its importance. The political climate of the 1980s, marked by a growing concern about privacy rights and government surveillance, provided fertile ground for his ideas to flourish. Chaum's research was not only about technology, it was a statement about individual freedoms and the power of cryptography to protect them. His contributions extended beyond theoretical work. Chaum was a vocal advocate for digital privacy, speaking at conferences and engaging with policymakers to discuss the implications of cryptography on society. His ability to articulate complex concepts to a broad audience helped bridge the gap between technical experts and the public, raising awareness about the challenges and opportunities posed by digital technology. By the late 1980s, Chaum's ideas were influencing a new generation of cryptographers and computer scientists. His work laid the groundwork for future innovations in secure communications and electronic transactions. It was during this time that he became a central figure in the development of protocols that would later underpin secure internet communications. Despite his growing influence, Chaum remained driven by a singular vision to create technologies that empower individuals to control their own data. His work was not without challenges, convincing both the public and the private sectors of the necessity of digital privacy required not only technical brilliance, but also perseverance and diplomacy. In reflecting on Chaum's early career, it's clear that his contributions were as much about shaping the discourse around privacy as they were about technological innovation. His work reminds us that technology is not just about machines and algorithms, it's about people and their rights. Chaum's career is a testament to the power of visionary thinking in shaping the digital world we inhabit today. As we conclude this chapter, we stand on the threshold of exploring the rise of David Chaum's influence in the world of cryptography. His early work set the stage for a series of groundbreaking advancements that would follow, innovations that continue to impact our lives. The seeds of his revolutionary ideas were just beginning to sprout, promising to change the landscape of digital privacy forever. In the next chapter, we will delve deeper into Chaum's rise, examining how his innovative protocols began to shape the field of cryptography during the 1980s. His influence, as we shall see, extended far beyond the confines of academia and into the very fabric of modern digital communication. Prepare to uncover the remarkable story of how one man's vision began to alter the trajectory of technology and privacy. Prepare to uncover the remarkable story of how one man's vision began to alter the trajectory of technology and privacy. In the early 1980s, a young computer scientist named David Chaum stood at the precipice of what would become a transformative era in the field of cryptography. In an age where digital communication was burgeoning, Chaum envisioned a world where privacy was paramount, not just an afterthought. His academic journey began at the University of California, Berkeley, where he earned his PhD in 1982. Chaum's dissertation laid the groundwork for innovations that would ripple through the decades. His work caught the attention of scholars and technologists alike, as he proposed methods to secure electronic communications against potential eavesdroppers. This was a time when the internet was still in its infancy, and few could foresee the extent to which it would infiltrate daily life. Chaum's groundbreaking concept of blind signatures emerged during this fertile period. A blind signature enables one to sign a document without knowing its content, which became foundational for ensuring privacy in digital transactions. This idea would later become a cornerstone of digital currency and secure voting systems. By 1983, Chaum published a paper titled "Blind Signatures for Untraceable Payments," which described this remarkable technique. The paper was not merely a theoretical exercise. It was a blueprint for a future where privacy-enhanced communication could become a reality. In the halls of academia and tech conferences, Chaum's name began to echo as a pioneer in cryptographic research. His ideas resonated particularly among those concerned with the Orwellian specter of mass surveillance. While working as a professor at the New York University Graduate School of Business, Chaum continued to refine his theories. He was not just tinkering with abstract mathematics. He was building a nascent framework for private digital transactions that could outpace even the swiftest of government oversight. Throughout the 1980s, Chaum published numerous papers that read like blueprints of a future society where individuals could interact without ever revealing their identities unnecessarily. By founding DigiCash in 1989, Chaum attempted to bring his academic musings into the commercial sphere. DigiCash was among the first companies to implement cryptographic techniques to create a form of electronic money, a precursor to the cryptocurrencies we know today. The world watched as Chaum attempted to translate theory into practice, striving to offer a way for individuals to conduct transactions without leaving a digital footprint. The success of DigiCash was limited, yet its influence was profound. It demonstrated the potential of Chaum's vision, inspiring countless others to explore digital currencies and privacy-focused technologies. As the digital age dawned, the seeds Chaum had planted began to sprout, nurtured by a growing interest in securing personal data. The significance of Chaum's work became more apparent as concerns over digital privacy intensified. In a world increasingly reliant on electronic communication and data storage, the question of how to protect individual privacy became ever more pressing. Governments, corporations, and individuals grappled with the challenges and opportunities presented by this new digital landscape. Chaum's ideas were not only visionary, they were prescient. He foresaw the potential for abuse inherent in large-scale data collection long before such practices became commonplace. His emphasis on empowering individuals with tools for privacy marked him as not merely a technologist, but a philosopher of the digital age. In 1993, Chaum introduced the concept of anonymous communication systems, which aimed to allow people to send messages without revealing their identity. This concept was further explored through his creation of the Mix network, a technique that would become instrumental in the development of privacy-focused communication tools, influencing projects like Tor. Chaum's work in the 1980s and early 1990s laid the groundwork for much of the modern discourse surrounding cryptography and privacy. His contributions have been foundational, inspiring a generation of cryptographers who continue to explore and expand upon his ideas. Yet, despite the far-reaching impact of his work, Chaum remained a figure largely removed from the public eye, immersed in the intricacies of his research and the quiet pursuit of privacy in a rapidly changing world. He was a man driven by the belief that technology should serve to empower individuals rather than control them. His vision was one where privacy was not a privilege, but a fundamental right. This belief guided his work and inspired those who followed in his footsteps. As the years progressed, the field of cryptography grew and evolved, yet Chaum's influence remained omnipresent. His early work on cryptographic protocols established a foundation that continues to underpin many aspects of digital security today. His ideas have transcended their original context, influencing not only technology, but also the broader conversation about privacy and individual rights in the digital age. The rise of David Chaum and his contributions to cryptography and digital privacy are not merely a historical footnote. They represent a pivotal chapter in the ongoing narrative of how we navigate the complexities of a connected world. As we look back on his work, we are reminded of the importance of visionaries who dare to imagine a different future, one where technology and privacy coexist harmoniously. Chaum's pioneering efforts in cryptography and his development of privacy-enhancing technologies have left an indelible mark on the field. His journey from academic theorist to technical innovator set the stage for the digital age, influencing not only the technological landscape, but also the philosophical discourse surrounding privacy and individual autonomy. As we delve deeper into Chaum's life and work, we uncover the profound impact of his ideas on contemporary society. His contributions have sparked debates, inspired innovation, and shaped the way we think about privacy and security in the digital realm. This chapter, The Rise, is but a part of his story. It sets the stage for the challenges he faced and the impact he continues to have. As we turn the page to the next chapter, Behind the Curtain, we will explore the intricate technicalities of Chaum's innovations, revealing how they became instrumental in shaping our modern understanding of digital security. In the quiet corridors of technological innovation, where ideas often whisper before they shout, David Chaum emerged as a pivotal figure. By the early 1980s, Chaum had already seeded a revolution in digital privacy, yet few could see the full potential of his contributions. He was not merely a cryptographer, but a visionary, one who understood the unfolding implications of a world increasingly tethered by digital lines. Chaum's most celebrated innovation, the blind signature, became a keystone in the architecture of secure digital transactions. But to truly appreciate its significance, we must delve into the fabric of its creation, a journey that leads us back to his groundbreaking paper, published in 1983. In this paper, Chaum articulated the concept of blind signatures, a method allowing one to sign digital documents without revealing their contents. The process offered a solution to a problem that had long vexed cryptographers: how to authenticate information without compromising privacy. Blind signatures functioned by separating the act of signing from the act of reading. Imagine an envelope containing a message, sealed and opaque. A blind signature allowed this envelope to be signed without the contents being visible to the signer. This was particularly revolutionary for digital currencies, laying foundational principles for what would later influence cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. In the context of the 1980s, the idea was radical. The Cold War era had left a landscape where information was power and privacy was a luxury increasingly eroded by technological advancements. Chaum's work on blind signatures spoke directly to these issues, proposing a framework that could preserve anonymity while ensuring the integrity of communications. This was more than an academic exercise. It was a blueprint for digital trust. Yet, to comprehend the technical elegance of blind signatures, one must consider the cryptographic techniques that underpinned them. Chaum utilized asymmetric cryptography, a method that involves two keys, a public key to encrypt data and a private key to decrypt it. The blind signature leveraged this principle, applying it to sign messages without revealing their content to the signer. Consider a scenario, a digital currency transaction. A user wishes to pay for a service without exposing their identity or the details of the transaction. With blind signatures, the user could encrypt the transaction details, ensuring they remain hidden. The transaction is then blinded using a special key, which obscures the data even further. The service provider signs the blinded transaction, confirming its authenticity without ever seeing the actual content. This level of privacy was unprecedented. In a time when governments and corporations increasingly sought control over information flows, Chaum's innovations called for a rethinking of personal digital rights. His ideas sparked discussions that resonated beyond cryptography, touching on legal, ethical, and societal domains. David Chaum's contributions extended beyond blind signatures. He laid foundational work in what he termed untraceable electronic mail. This was an early vision of what would become anonymous messaging systems, a precursor to technologies that maintain privacy in digital communications today. His ideas were not confined to the academic sphere. They began influencing practical applications that would affect millions. The Amsterdam-based company DigiCash, which Chaum founded in 1990, was an embodiment of his theories put into practice. DigiCash aimed to create a currency system utilizing blind signatures, ensuring transactions were both secure and anonymous. Despite its ultimate failure, DigiCash was a bold experiment in digital financial privacy that would inspire future innovations in the field. In those years, Chaum's work was a beacon for privacy advocates, a rallying cry for those who saw the digital future as fraught with both promise and peril. His insistence on privacy as a fundamental right was profound, urging society to contemplate the ethical dimensions of technology long before such considerations became mainstream. The intricacies of Chaum's work often placed him at the nexus of academia, technology, and policy. His interactions with figures like Whitfield Diffie and Martin Hellman, pioneers in public key cryptography, highlighted the collaborative nature of the field. The exchange of ideas among these visionaries drove forward the discipline, blending mathematics with philosophy, science with ethics. Chaum's innovations, however, did not go unchallenged. Critics questioned the potential for misuse of untraceable transactions and raised concerns about the implications for law enforcement. Yet Chaum remained steadfast, advocating for a balance between privacy and security, a line that continues to be debated in the digital age. His seminars and lectures throughout the 1980s and 1990s became gatherings of minds eager to push the boundaries of what was conceivable. In these forums, he emphasized not only the technical aspects of cryptography, but its role in safeguarding democratic freedoms. The human aspect of Chaum's work is perhaps its most enduring legacy. Amidst the algorithms and protocols, there was a deeply personal conviction, a belief in empowering individuals against the encroaching tide of surveillance. David Chaum's inventions were not just technical marvels, but declarations of intent, tools designed to preserve humanity's right to privacy in a digital world. As we close this chapter, we glimpse the profound impact of Chaum's early innovations. But the story is far from over. Ahead lies a pivotal moment, one that will challenge Chaum's focus and test the resilience of his ideals. In our next chapter, we explore this turning point, a moment when the theoretical collided with the practical, forever altering the trajectory of Chaum's journey in the realm of cryptography. In our next chapter, we explore this turning point, a moment when the theoretical collided with the practical, forever altering the trajectory of Chaum's journey in the realm of cryptography. The year was 1989. David Chaum had established himself as a leading figure in the emerging field of digital security. His work on cryptographic protocols was groundbreaking, but the real world was yet to fully embrace his vision. This was about to change. In the bustling city of Amsterdam, Chaum founded DigiCash. It was a company born out of necessity and innovation. He believed in a future where digital transactions could occur anonymously, safeguarding individual privacy. DigiCash was his experiment, a daring attempt to bridge the gap between theory and practice. The world was on the cusp of a digital revolution, and Chaum was poised to lead the charge. The late 1980s and early 1990s were a time of rapid technological advancement. The internet was emerging from the fringes into the mainstream. Computers were becoming household items, and the idea of digital money was no longer a mere fantasy. Chaum saw an opportunity to integrate his cryptographic concepts into this evolving landscape. His creation, DigiCash, utilized his invention known as blind signatures. This technology allowed transactions to be conducted without revealing the identities of the parties involved. It held the promise of a new kind of currency, one that respected privacy and security in a way traditional systems could not. However, implementing such a radical idea came with its own set of challenges. The banking industry, with its entrenched systems and regulations, was skeptical. They viewed Chaum's vision with a mix of intrigue and apprehension. Convincing financial institutions to adopt DigiCash required more than just innovation. It demanded a shift in mindset. Adding to the challenge was the regulatory environment. Governments were wary of technologies that could potentially disrupt financial oversight and control. Chaum had to navigate a complex web of legal and financial hurdles to bring his vision to fruition. Despite these obstacles, DigiCash made significant strides. In 1994, the company partnered with the Mark Twain Bank in the United States. This was a crucial step in demonstrating the viability of digital cash in real-world applications. The partnership allowed consumers to conduct anonymous electronic transactions, marking a milestone in the history of digital finance. Chaum's innovation was not just a technical feat, it was a bold statement about privacy and autonomy in the digital age. The vision behind DigiCash resonated with a niche community that valued privacy above all else. Privacy advocates and cryptographers alike rallied around Chaum's cause. To them, DigiCash represented a rebellion against the surveillance capabilities of digital and financial institutions. This sense of purpose and community fueled the project, but success was still elusive. DigiCash faced significant competition from emerging forms of electronic payment systems. Credit cards and online banking were gaining traction, offering convenience that DigiCash could not easily match. The company struggled to scale its operations and capture a wider market share. Despite its technical superiority and privacy protection, DigiCash found itself eclipsed by these more user-friendly alternatives. As the 1990s progressed, the tech industry was rife with both opportunity and volatility. Startups in Silicon Valley were rising and falling in quick succession. DigiCash, despite its revolutionary potential, was not immune to these pressures. Financial difficulties began to mount. The company was burning through its funds faster than it could secure new investments. By the late 1990s, DigiCash was on shaky ground. The very innovations that had once set it apart now seemed like obstacles in the face of commercial practicality. In 1998, DigiCash filed for bankruptcy. It was a devastating blow for Chaum and his team. For many, it signaled the end of an era, an acknowledgement that the world was not yet ready for Chaum's radical vision of anonymous digital currency. Yet this turning point was not without its silver linings. Though DigiCash ceased operations, the impact of Chaum's work endured. His ideas laid the groundwork for future developments in digital privacy and cryptocurrency. Chaum's pioneering efforts in cryptography continued to inspire a new generation of innovators. The concepts of blind signatures and digital cash were revived and reimagined in the following decades. Bitcoin, introduced by Satoshi Nakamoto in 2009, drew heavily from Chaum's original concepts. While DigiCash may not have succeeded commercially, its legacy was cemented in the annals of cryptographic innovation. For David Chaum, this turning point was both an end and a beginning. It marked the close of one chapter and the start of another in his relentless quest for digital privacy. Chaum returned to academia, diving deeper into research and development. He remained steadfast in his commitment to creating secure and private digital communication systems. The lessons learned from DigiCash informed his later work, driving him to refine his ideas and methodologies. This period of reflection and renewal was crucial. It allowed Chaum to adapt his vision to a world that was slowly catching up to his ideas. Despite the setbacks, his dedication did not waver. He continued to believe in a future where privacy was a fundamental right, not a privilege. The story of David Chaum and DigiCash serves as a powerful reminder of the challenges and possibilities that come with pioneering change. It is a testament to the resilience required to transform visionary ideas into reality. As we look forward, the next chapter will delve into the challenges Chaum faced in the aftermath of DigiCash's decline. We will explore how these experiences shaped his subsequent contributions to cryptography and digital privacy. We will explore how these experiences shaped his subsequent contributions to cryptography and digital privacy. David Chaum, a pioneer in his field, faced numerous challenges and setbacks that tested his resolve. His journey was not without its moments of doubt and struggle, as is often the case with groundbreaking innovators. By the late 1980s, Chaum had cemented his place in the world of cryptography with his innovative protocols. Yet, even as he stood on the precipice of change, cracks began to appear in the foundation of his burgeoning empire. The year was 1990, and the world of digital privacy was undergoing seismic shifts. The demand for secure communication was growing, but so were the complexities of implementing Chaum's ideas on a grand scale. In those moments, Chaum faced a labyrinth of challenges that would define the next phase of his career. One significant obstacle was the commercialization of his ideas, which, despite their brilliance, were not easy to translate into marketable products. His company, DigiCash, founded in 1989, aimed to bring electronic cash to life, but the path was fraught with hurdles. DigiCash was more than a business venture. It was Chaum's vision of a future where privacy and technology coexisted harmoniously. However, the realities of the corporate world were harsh and unyielding. Investors were wary of the untested waters of digital currency, a concept far ahead of its time. The skepticism was palpable, and Chaum often found himself at odds with the very mechanisms of the financial world he sought to revolutionize. Internally, DigiCash struggled with technical and strategic challenges. The implementation of Chaum's cryptographic innovations required significant resources and expertise. Yet, as a small company, DigiCash lacked the financial muscle to compete with larger tech firms that began to encroach upon this emerging field. The pressure was intense, and the cracks within the company began to widen. These troubles were compounded by management issues, as the burden of leadership often clashed with Chaum's natural inclination towards research and innovation. Amidst these professional struggles, Chaum faced personal challenges that added to the weight upon his shoulders. The stress of managing a pioneering company took a toll on his personal life. The relentless pace of innovation and the demands of entrepreneurship left little room for rest or reflection. Those who knew him during this period recall a man deeply committed to his vision, yet visibly strained by the exigencies of his dual roles as innovator and businessman. In these years, the tension between Chaum's visionary ideals and the pragmatic demands of business became increasingly stark. His dedication to privacy and security was unwavering, yet the market seemed indifferent to the nuances that Chaum held dear. A pivotal moment came when negotiations with major banks and financial institutions, which could have secured DigiCash's future, faltered. The potential partners were hesitant, fearing the disruptive potential of Chaum's digital currency. Without their support, DigiCash struggled to gain the traction it needed to survive. The fall of DigiCash in the late 1990s marked a significant setback for Chaum. When the company filed for bankruptcy in 1998, it was a moment marked by both personal and professional sorrow. For Chaum, it was not just the collapse of a business, but the collapse of a dream. He had envisioned a world where digital privacy was a given, not a luxury. Yet the reality had proven much harsher. In the wake of DigiCash's failure, Chaum faced a crossroads. Despite the setbacks, he never wavered in his belief in the importance of privacy and security. However, the experience had taught him valuable lessons about the challenges of transforming visionary concepts into practical applications. His subsequent work would be informed by these hard-learned lessons, shaping his approach to future projects and endeavors. In the years following DigiCash's downfall, Chaum continued to influence the field, though often from a quieter, less visible position. His focus shifted back to research and development, where his true passion lay. Away from the public eye, he continued to innovate, contributing to the ever-evolving discourse on digital privacy. His work, though less prominent, remained influential among those who understood the profound implications of cryptography. Despite the setbacks, Chaum's early innovations laid the groundwork for future developments in digital currencies and privacy technologies. His work prefigured many of the ideas that would come to define the digital age, including the rise of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, which launched in 2009. While DigiCash had not succeeded, its underlying principles lived on, influencing a new generation of technologists and entrepreneurs who built upon Chaum's foundational ideas. Throughout this turbulent period, the core of Chaum's vision stayed intact. He remained a staunch advocate for individual privacy, a conviction that never wavered despite the challenges he faced. His journey through the highs and lows of the digital revolution was a testament to the enduring power of his ideas, even when faced with adversity. As Chaum looked to the future, he saw both challenges and opportunities. The digital landscape was rapidly changing, yet the questions of privacy and security remained as pertinent as ever. His experiences had hardened him, but they had also equipped him with a deeper understanding of the intricate dance between technology and society. David Chaum's story, marked by both triumph and trial, is a poignant reminder of the complexities of innovation. His legacy, though shaped by setbacks, remains integral to the ongoing dialogue on digital privacy. As we move into the next chapter, we will explore how Chaum's influence, though out of the spotlight, continued to inspire and shape the path of digital security. In the following chapter, we will delve into the fall, examining the factors that contributed to this unique period in Chaum's life and career, and how it influenced the course of cryptographic history. In the following chapter, we will delve into the fall, examining the factors that contributed to this unique period in Chaum's life and career, and how it influenced the course of cryptographic history. In the late 1990s, David Chaum found himself at a crossroads. His pioneering work in cryptography, particularly with digital currencies and privacy protocols, was well recognized. Yet the world was changing rapidly. The internet was evolving from a niche network to a global phenomenon, and with it, the demands on digital security were transforming. This was a time of transition, not only for technology, but for Chaum as well. In 1990, Chaum had founded DigiCash in Amsterdam. His vision was bold, a future where digital money could provide real privacy for users. DigiCash aimed to leverage his unique cryptographic breakthroughs to create a form of currency beyond the reach of governmental oversight or corporate intrusion. Despite the technical brilliance of his work, DigiCash faced immense challenges. By 1998, the company had declared bankruptcy. Financial struggles were a part of the narrative, but they weren't the whole story. Chaum's idealism clashed with the practical realities of business. He was a visionary, not a businessman. DigiCash's downfall came as a shock to many who had followed Chaum's career. It was a moment that marked a turning point, a pivot from the heights of innovation to the sobering complexities of real-world applications and market dynamics. The digital landscape was littered with the remnants of revolutionary ideas that failed to find sustainable models. Chaum's story was no exception. The fall of DigiCash did not diminish the integrity or importance of Chaum's contributions. However, it did sideline him from the forefront of digital security discourse. The late 1990s and early 2000s saw a surge in internet-based commerce and the rise of tech giants. These entities were more interested in scalability and control than in the radical privacy Chaum envisioned. Yet the seeds he had planted were germinating elsewhere. His ideas continued to resonate with a growing community of cryptographers and computer scientists. Many of these individuals would later become key players in the development of blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin's emergence in 2008 can trace intellectual lineage back to Chaum's original concepts of digital cash. While DigiCash's failure may have been a personal setback, it was not the end of Chaum's influence. His academic work still held significant weight. Conferences and seminars continued to invite him as a speaker, acknowledging his foundational impact on cryptographic theory. His papers were cited by countless researchers, maintaining his presence in the academic sphere. Despite these acknowledgments, the period following DigiCash left Chaum in a kind of personal and professional limbo. The rapid rise and fall of his company had taken a toll. He had poured much of his energy and resources into the venture, and its collapse was not only financially draining, but emotionally taxing. Friends and colleagues noted a shift, a growing introspection, perhaps even a retreat from the public eye. In 2004, an opportunity for reflection came with the release of a special issue of the IEEE Security and Privacy magazine dedicated to Chaum. This publication was a testament to his enduring influence and a recognition of the path he had paved. It featured articles from other leading figures in cryptography who had been inspired by his work. Yet Chaum himself remained relatively quiet, choosing to let others speak to his legacy. By the mid-2000s, the world of cryptography was undergoing yet another transformation. Public interest in digital privacy was escalating, driven by increasing concerns over data collection and surveillance. The seeds of Chaum's ideas were sprouting anew, adapted and evolved to meet the needs of a new generation. In some senses, this was a vindication of his life's work. Yet, Chaum remained a background figure. While others capitalized on the burgeoning interest in privacy technologies, Chaum's influence was felt more in spirit than in active leadership. His absence from the bustling centers of innovation was notable but not entirely surprising. The world had caught up to his vision, albeit in ways he might not have fully anticipated. There was an inevitability to Chaum's retreat from the spotlight. His career was marked by profound highs and challenging lows. Yet, through it all, he maintained a steadfast belief in the principles of privacy and freedom. These convictions, though perhaps less publicly lauded during this period, continued to inspire and guide the work of many. As we reflect on the fall, it is crucial to recognize that decline does not necessarily denote failure. Rather, it can signify a shift, a transition from one kind of influence to another. Chaum's ideas lived on, interwoven into the fabric of contemporary cryptographic practice. His vision for privacy, though once sidelined, became increasingly relevant in a world grappling with the complexities of digital life. In examining this period, we see a confluence of personal setbacks and broader technological shifts. The digital age was maturing, and with it, the challenges and opportunities Chaum had long anticipated were coming to fruition. The landscape was no longer just about cryptography. It was about ethics, governance, and the societal impacts of technology. Chaum's foresight had prefigured these concerns, even if his direct participation had waned. As we prepare to move into the next phase of this exploration, the focus will shift to the aftermath of this fall, how Chaum navigated his life and work beyond the dissolution of DigiCash. We will uncover how he continued to contribute to the discourse on digital privacy, even as the world shifted around him. His legacy, as we will see, is not confined to the past, but remains a living, evolving influence on the technologies that shape our world today. The next chapter will delve deeper into the aftermath, exploring the continued resonance of Chaum's work in the years following his peak. The next chapter will delve deeper into the aftermath, exploring the continued resonance of Chaum's work in the years following his peak. As the tides of technology shifted through the late 1990s and into the 21st century, Chaum found himself at a crossroads, reflecting on the legacy of his cryptographic innovations. His contributions to the world of digital privacy were undeniable, yet the world seemed to move in directions he had not anticipated. In the 1990s, the internet was rapidly evolving from a scientific curiosity to a global phenomenon. David Chaum watched as his ideals about privacy and individual rights were challenged by the burgeoning digital economy. The very protocols he helped to pioneer were being adapted, sometimes in ways that strayed from his original vision. In 1997, Chaum spoke at the Financial Cryptography Conference in Anguilla, voicing concerns about the trajectory of online privacy. He emphasized the importance of maintaining user control over personal data, a concept that felt increasingly elusive in the face of corporate interests. Despite the challenges, Chaum remained active in the field. In 1998, he launched a new venture called DigiCash Technologies, aiming to bring his vision of secure, anonymous digital currency to the mainstream. However, the company struggled to find a sustainable business model in an internet economy that was still nascent. By the year 2000, DigiCash had filed for bankruptcy, a sobering reminder of the difficulties in balancing innovation with commercial viability. The closure of DigiCash marked a significant turning point for Chaum. It was a moment that forced him to reassess his role within the ever-evolving landscape of cryptography and digital privacy. Yet, he did not disappear from the public eye. Instead, Chaum dedicated himself to academia, writing papers and giving lectures that continued to inspire a new generation of cryptographers. In 2005, he published a paper on voting systems that proposed new ways to secure electoral processes using cryptographic methods. The influence of Chaum's work persisted in subtle yet profound ways. His introduction of blind signatures had been instrumental in the development of secure communications. As companies and governments increasingly relied on encrypted data, the foundational elements of Chaum's research quietly underpinned these advances. His concerns about privacy became part of a broader conversation as digital rights organizations around the world echoed his warnings. In 2008, the release of Bitcoin brought Chaum's ideas back to the forefront of discussion. Although he was not directly involved with Bitcoin's creation, the cryptocurrency drew heavily on his early work in digital cash. Chaum's vision of a decentralized, anonymous currency seemed to find new life within the blockchain community. It was a moment of validation, a testament to the enduring relevance of his ideas. Yet, with renewed interest came renewed scrutiny. Critics questioned the feasibility of achieving true digital anonymity and the ethical implications of such technologies. Chaum remained steadfast, advocating for systems that prioritize user privacy while acknowledging the complexities involved. In interviews, he often spoke of the responsibility that comes with advancing technological capabilities, framing it as a moral imperative for innovators and lawmakers alike. Throughout the 2010s, Chaum's voice continued to resonate in conferences and symposiums. In 2013, at the annual RSA conference in San Francisco, he delivered a keynote address on the future of digital privacy. His talk was both a reflection on past achievements and a call to action for continued vigilance in the protection of personal data. He challenged the audience to consider the long-term implications of their work, urging them to design systems with the welfare of future generations in mind. As the decade progressed, Chaum remained an enigmatic figure, still influential, yet often operating at the fringes of mainstream recognition. His work was referenced in academic papers, and his theories were discussed in university courses. Despite the challenges he faced, his commitment to the principles of privacy and security never wavered. In 2017, he received the RSA Conference Award for Excellence in the field of mathematics, a fitting acknowledgement of his lifelong contributions. Yet the world around him continued to change. The digital landscape was now dominated by tech giants whose influence reached every corner of the globe. Privacy concerns grew more pressing as data breaches and surveillance scandals became increasingly common. Chaum's early warnings seemed prophetic, a reminder of how far society still needed to go in safeguarding individual rights. In 2020, at the height of global upheaval, Chaum reflected on his journey in a rare public statement. He expressed a cautious optimism, believing that the principles he advocated for would eventually align with technological progress. With new cryptographic advancements on the horizon, he saw the potential for tools that could empower individuals and protect civil liberties. His words were a rallying cry for those who continued to push the boundaries of what was possible, a call to harmonize innovation with ethical responsibility. As the narrative of David Chaum's life unfolded, one could not help but feel the weight of his contributions. He was a pioneer in a rapidly changing world, a figure whose work laid the groundwork for modern cryptography. The challenges he faced were formidable, yet his vision remained intact, an unyielding commitment to privacy in an interconnected age. As we look ahead to the next chapter, the investigation, we will examine how Chaum's work is perceived today, exploring the controversies and debates that continue to shape his legacy. As we look ahead to the next chapter, the investigation, we will examine how Chaum's work is perceived today, exploring the controversies and debates that continue to shape his legacy. David Chaum, a pioneer in the world of cryptography, has left an indelible mark on digital privacy. Yet, his career path is not without its complexities and contradictions. The perception of his work has been a subject of ongoing debate, causing ripples across the technological landscape that extend far beyond the confines of cryptography. To fully understand this perception, we must travel back to the early 1980s. It was a time when the world of cryptography was burgeoning with new ideas and possibilities. Chaum's innovation of blind signatures, introduced in 1982, was groundbreaking. Blind signatures allowed for secure digital transactions while safeguarding user privacy, fundamentally influencing how digital currencies would be conceptualized in the future. Despite the apparent elegance and utility of blind signatures, the concept faced skepticism. Some contemporaries questioned its practicality beyond theoretical applications. They wondered if such a system could be feasibly implemented on a large scale. These early criticisms foreshadowed the more significant debates Chaum would face in later years. By the late 1990s, the digital landscape had shifted dramatically. The rise of the internet brought new challenges and opportunities. Chaum's ideas, once avant-garde, began to be viewed through a different lens. The growing interest in digital commerce and privacy rekindled discussions around his work. Yet, as more entities entered the cryptographic arena, the spotlight on Chaum dimmed somewhat. In 1998, a notable event stirred the cryptographic community: the launch of DigiCash, Chaum's digital currency project, designed to commercialize his concepts. The project, which had started with great promise, eventually declared bankruptcy. DigiCash's fall was seen by some as evidence that Chaum's ideas, however brilliant, were ahead of their time. Others criticized Chaum's business acumen or lack thereof, pointing to management missteps and missed opportunities for broader adoption. Despite these setbacks, Chaum's theoretical contributions continued to inspire. Academics and practitioners alike delved into his work, finding new ways to build upon his foundations. Chaum's influence extended to projects that would shape the technology world, including the development of cryptocurrency. Bitcoin, introduced in 2009 by the pseudonymous Satoshi Nakamoto, owed a conceptual debt to Chaum's pioneering work. The academic community's interest in Chaum's contributions prompted a re-evaluation of his legacy. By the early 2010s, scholarly articles re-examined the impact of his research. Historians of technology began to piece together assessments of his influence. Some lauded him as a visionary ahead of his time, while others critiqued him for not capitalizing on his innovations more effectively. At conferences and symposiums, Chaum's work was a frequent topic of discussion. In particular, the annual RA conference often featured panels that touched on his contributions. In 2014, a panel discussion titled "The Evolution of Digital Transactions" sparked debate about the relevance of Chaum's early theories in the context of new technologies. Participants like cryptographer Whitfield Diffie outlined how blind signatures anticipated modern concerns about privacy and security. Yet, controversy arose over whether Chaum's insistence on privacy-first approaches hindered broader adoption of digital currencies during their infancy. Critics argued that his unwavering focus on anonymity limited the appeal to regulatory bodies and financial institutions. Others defended Chaum, asserting that privacy was a necessary component to protect individuals in an increasingly connected world. Chaum himself weighed in on these debates. In interviews and public appearances, he often reflected on the duality of his work's reception. At a 2015 technology summit in Berlin, he remarked, "Innovation is often misunderstood, especially when it challenges the status quo." This sentiment echoed through the halls of cryptographic history, capturing the essence of his enduring impact. By the close of the decade, digital privacy had become a paramount concern globally. Revelations about data breaches and surveillance heightened public awareness. In this climate, Chaum's early warnings about privacy risks seemed prescient. His contributions were revisited with renewed interest, with industry leaders citing his work as foundational to understanding modern digital privacy challenges. The debates around Chaum's legacy were not confined to scholarly circles. They extended into the public sphere, influencing how societies viewed the balance between technological advancement and individual rights. In particular, the European Union's General Data Protection Regulation (GDPR) drew parallels to Chaum's advocacy for privacy-protective technologies. It was a testament to how his early ideas had infiltrated policy-making spheres, albeit indirectly. Yet, as with any figure of historical significance, not all perceptions were favorable. Chaum faced criticism for his intermittent public presence, with some questioning whether he had done enough to advocate for his ideas outside academic and niche circles. His reluctance to engage with corporate interests or governmental entities left gaps that others filled, sometimes with contrasting visions. Still, Chaum's influence continued to be felt. Younger generations of technologists, inspired by the principles he championed, carried forward his legacy in innovative ways. Emerging cryptographers such as Vitalik Buterin, the co-founder of Ethereum, often cited Chaum's work as a guiding inspiration for their own projects. As we reflect on Chaum's journey, we see a tapestry woven with triumphs and tribulations. His story is emblematic of the challenges faced by innovators who push boundaries. It is a narrative that invites us to consider the broader implications of technological progress and the ethical considerations it demands. In this investigation, we have uncovered the layers of perception that define Chaum's legacy. We have navigated the complexities of his career, recognizing both the accolades and the criticisms. It's a testament to the enduring nature of his contributions and the dialogues they continue to inspire. As we move toward our next chapter, we will further explore the lasting impact of Chaum's work on cryptography and digital privacy. The legacy he forged is not just a historical artifact, but a living influence that shapes the future of digital innovation. In our next chapter, The Legacy, we will delve into how Chaum's contributions continue to resonate in today's world, influencing the course of technology and privacy in ways both profound and unexpected. The story, as it unfolds, is far from over. The story, as it unfolds, is far from over. David Chaum's legacy in cryptography and digital privacy is a tapestry interwoven with threads that connect the past, present, and future. His innovations, particularly the pioneering concept of blind signatures, have left an indelible mark on the digital landscape. This chapter seeks to unravel the depth of his contributions and the ways they continue to shape our understanding of privacy in the digital age. In 1981, Chaum introduced the concept of blind signatures, a groundbreaking idea that allowed users to sign documents without revealing their content. This innovation was crucial for secure and anonymous transactions, laying the groundwork for digital currency. As a result, Chaum is often hailed as a founding figure in the development of cryptocurrencies. While Bitcoin and other digital currencies have since taken center stage, the principles Chaum introduced remain integral to their operation. Chaum's work in the 1980s was not just about technology. It was a philosophical statement about individual autonomy in an increasingly interconnected world. He envisioned a future where individuals could interact freely without fear of surveillance or data breaches. At a time when the internet was still in its infancy, this vision was both radical and prescient. His advocacy for privacy-focused technology spoke to a deeper desire to protect human dignity in the digital realm. In 1985, Chaum founded DigiCash, a bold attempt to commercialize his cryptographic innovations. Based in Amsterdam, DigiCash aimed to create a digital currency that preserved user anonymity. Although the company ultimately failed in the late 1990s, its ambition set the stage for future endeavors in digital payments and privacy technologies. The challenges DigiCash faced were numerous, ranging from technological limitations to a lack of consumer readiness for digital currencies, but its legacy lives on in the cryptographic protocols it inspired. Chaum's influence extends beyond technical invention. He has inspired a generation of cryptographers and privacy advocates. Figures such as Hal Finney and Nick Szabo have cited Chaum's work as pivotal in their own explorations of digital privacy and cryptographic currencies. By fostering a community that values security and anonymity, Chaum has left an impact that resonates in contemporary debates about data privacy and regulation. The 1990s saw the world grappling with the exponential growth of digital communication technologies. During this period, Chaum's ideas gained renewed relevance as concerns about privacy and surveillance intensified. The Electronic Frontier Foundation, founded in 1990, echoed many of Chaum's principles, advocating for civil liberties in the digital world. This alignment underscored the enduring importance of his work in shaping policy and public discourse around digital rights. Reflecting on Chaum's career, it becomes evident that his contributions are not confined to technical achievements alone. His work has influenced legal frameworks globally. For instance, the European Union's General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, implemented in 2018, echoes Chaum's early advocacy for personal data protection. By emphasizing user consent and data minimization, GDPR embodies principles that Chaum championed decades earlier. Despite these successes, Chaum's legacy is not without its controversies. Some critics argue that his focus on anonymity could hinder efforts to combat cybercrime and terrorism. This tension between privacy and security remains a central debate in policy circles. Yet, Chaum's work insists on the possibility of finding a balance that respects both individual freedoms and societal safety. This ongoing dialogue highlights the complexity and nuance of his contributions to the field. David Chaum's legacy is also linked to his role as an educator and mentor. Through lectures and publications, he has influenced countless students and researchers. His teachings emphasize not only the technical aspects of cryptography, but also the ethical considerations of technology use. This holistic approach has nurtured a new generation of thinkers who are dedicated to advancing Chaum's vision of a secure and private digital ecosystem. In recent years, Chaum has continued to innovate. His work on the XX network, a blockchain platform unveiled in 2018, is a testament to his enduring commitment to privacy-centric technology. The XX network aims to provide secure communication and value transfer without compromising user privacy. By integrating quantum-resistant cryptography, this latest endeavor reflects Chaum's foresight in addressing future challenges posed by advancements in computational power. The XX network is more than a technological venture. It is a statement of resilience and hope. It signifies Chaum's belief in the transformative potential of technology to empower individuals. Through this platform, he continues to inspire those who seek to uphold the right to privacy in an age of increased connectivity and surveillance. As we examine Chaum's legacy, it is important to acknowledge the human side of his story. His journey is one of perseverance and vision, marked by both triumphs and setbacks. Colleagues and friends often describe him as a deeply thoughtful and principled figure, whose commitment to his ideals has remained steadfast throughout his career. This personal dimension adds a layer of depth to our understanding of his professional achievements. Looking ahead, the relevance of Chaum's work shows no signs of waning. As digital technologies continue to evolve, the principles he established will remain central to discussions about privacy and security. The challenges and opportunities presented by emerging technologies, such as artificial intelligence and quantum computing, will require new frameworks of thought, rooted in the foundational work of pioneers like Chaum. The trajectory of digital privacy and cryptography is a testament to his lasting influence. Young innovators and established experts alike find themselves returning to Chaum's work as a source of inspiration and guidance. This enduring impact underscores the profound significance of his contributions to the field. In reflecting on David Chaum's legacy, we find a story that is as much about ideals as it is about technology. It is a story that challenges us to consider the role of privacy in our digital lives, urging us to imagine a future where individuals are empowered rather than surveilled. As we close this chapter, we are reminded that the journey is far from complete. The legacy of David Chaum continues to unfold, inviting us to explore new horizons in the quest for digital autonomy. And so we look toward the future, ready to delve into the next chapter of this remarkable narrative. As we reflect on the journey of David Chaum, we find ourselves standing at the intersection of technology, trust, and the human spirit. His story is not merely a chronicle of codes and cryptographic protocols. It is a testament to the unyielding pursuit of privacy in an age where information flows more freely than ever before. Chaum's early fascination with cryptography reveals a deeply human desire to protect what is personal and sacred. In a world increasingly shaped by digital interactions, his work challenges us to consider the balance between connectivity and security. The blind signatures he introduced are not just technical innovations. They are reflections of an age-old quest for trust in human interactions, albeit translated into the language of machines. The pivotal moments and challenges Chaum faced remind us that innovation often walks hand in hand with adversity. His experiences illustrate how breakthroughs are not the result of a singular path, but a tapestry woven from both successes and setbacks. This narrative echoes the resilience inherent in human nature, the strength to adapt, to learn, and to redefine one's mission in the face of change. Although there was a time when Chaum's visibility waned, his influence never truly diminished. His legacy in cryptography is indelible, as his ideas continue to underpin secure communications that billions rely on every day. Even amidst controversy, his contributions spur ongoing debates and inspire new generations to innovate in the realm of digital privacy. In contemplating Chaum's work, we are reminded of the dual role technology plays, as both a tool for empowerment and a challenge to our notions of privacy and individual rights. It invites us to think deeply about how we safeguard our own digital footprints while navigating the vast networks we have come to inhabit. As you settle into rest, let these thoughts linger quietly. Remember the essence of Chaum's legacy, the simple yet profound pursuit of trust and security in a rapidly evolving world. Allow the lessons of this story to gently guide you as you drift into a peaceful slumber, wrapped in the comforting assurance that some, like Chaum, have dedicated their lives to protecting the privacy and security we hold dear.